Hello, today I'm going to react to Oysterband. And this was a really interesting request because the requester said that Oysterband are a UK folk band with a hint of rock. Female singer is a guest singing with the group. Rowan Goddell sadly passed away in 2022. Second song to listen to if you like the first. All right, so we will listen to the first link, which is A Clown's Heart, not that. And then we'll see if we want to listen to the second one.
Clown's heart and a mandolin, crazy-hearted fools sing as one. We tear these old walls down and we bring back the sun.
Wow, I like that harmony right off the bat. That was really, really good harmony.
Battleman wine instead. Legends and cloudy dreams are floating all around.
He's a nice voice.
Half magician, half a fool. I never kept no golden rule. Like any man in need, I took my shelter where I found it.
Alright.
Clown's heart and a mandolin, crazy-hearted fools sing as one. We tear these old walls down and we bring back the sun.
It's so pretty. It's like very overwhelming, thick harmony. It's a lot to process.
Or take the money when the nights are getting cold. All I ever did was play. I troubadoured my life away. I tell you all about it when you're just a little older.
That's nice.
Crazy-hearted fools sing as one. We tear these old walls down and we bring back the sun.
I like it. It's like a different type of folk music.
Stay long, the wind that shakes our life so strong. 6 feet by 2 is my destination. Sometimes it feels as if the world is driving off a cliff. A saving human grace is still imagination. Clown's heart and a mandolin, crazy-hearted fools sing as one.
I love the harmony. That organ. Bring back the sun.
Crazy-hearted fools sing as one. We tear these old walls down and we bring back the sun. And we'll bring back the sun, and we'll bring back the sun.
Wow, that was so interesting. I think for me, what really was coming to mind is folk music in the UK is a bit different than folk music in the United States. And same with Canada, is different than the US. It's very regional folk music. It's very influenced by so many factors. But to me, this sounds so different than what I would think. This is closest to Americana Not exactly bluegrass, but kind of Americana folk. But the way they're singing sounds so much more grand than the simplicity of American folk music. And I think that's reflective of, as I've mentioned before, UK choral tradition. Like just the fact that they have such thick harmonies and the melody was like da 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 da, something like that. Whatever, I was trying to remember them. I've heard this once, so that's me with my music brain. I liked it a lot, but it sounds very complete in a way that a lot of American folk sounds more incomplete. It sounds more open, open phrases that kind of have more of a question at the end of them. These just are very definitive. The end of the phrase is like, bring back the sun. It resolves, and it's a very strong statement. So I think that's really cool. So whatever influenced this, this is obviously very, contemporary. This is 2010s. I said this 11 years ago. So it's like the 2015, right? So I have been listening to British folk rock from the 70s during the Renaissance hype period. So this is so different than that as well. So this is like its own sound. It's not trying to be the Renaissance or something. But there's something about the way the choral singing is done here that reminds me of just British chorale that's big in the churches and all the great British composers who wrote choral works. I think it's integrated a little bit more than I would hear in a simple Americana song. And I think that's also because you have to remember that for the United States, our history in terms of Appalachia, I mean, like westward expansion. So in western expansion, people went out and they homesteaded. There was the original colonies, and then as we expanded west, they would pay people to go out and to basically hold down land. One, they were trying to conquer it from Native Americans, but two, they had just bought the territory from the French, Louisiana Purchase, so they had to fill the land with American people so that they could hold it, right? So they really encouraged people to go out. And people were kind of out there, like really out there, like journeys away from the nearest city or weeks away. I'm talking like 1800s expansion, okay? And I think it became just, you had a banjo and that's it, or you had a fiddle and that's it. You just had a guitar and that's it. And you're just alone. There's less collaboration. I think there was a lot of like, I'm the only one in this little town in the West that has an instrument, and I'm just going to be the one playing banjo by myself, right? So I think that's where a lot of that comes. And you know why I think of that? There was this book series called Little House on the Prairie. And this woman, Laura Ingalls Wilder, like, yes, she fictionalized her childhood being in a covered wagon and moving west from the East Coast into like Kansas territory and stuff like that. They moved around a while, like Michigan, Kansas. I don't remember. They were all over. Okay. But in the book, she's always was going into these sections where her pa would play the fiddle. And then there'd be this folk song that she inserted. And as a kid, I just skipped over those songs. So I'm like reading this book, and then it's like, and then pa sang a song. And then it's like, she's just remembering from her childhood, her pa singing some kind of folk song because he loved singing. And then he would play his fiddle. And so I think that's where we get a lot of the American. Just think of like, oh, Susanna, oh, Shenandoah. That's oh, Susanna. Oh, in a cavern, excavating for a mine, was a miner, a 49er, and his daughter, Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling. See, it's like very like slidey, and it just sounds like America. I can't explain it. This does not sound like America because it's not. And I do think England has been England and UK, and you have two islands, but because Northern Ireland is part of the UK, but Ireland is not, and they're in the EU, but you're not because of Brexit. Um, anyway, so you guys have been settled. I mean, there's been people there for thousands of years, and because you're on a small island, you guys have pretty much settled the whole thing, and it's small. So it's not like this idea of like, I'm going out to Kansas where I'm the only person and we're surrounded by hostile Native American tribes. Like, that was basically the pioneer experience of the 1800s for a lot of Americans. So it's just a very different existence. It's just a very different. I mean, you guys could just form bands in your towns because there was a lot of people in each village, you know? I don't know. That's just my sense of it. I just want to get I did like this a lot. I just want to hear a little bit of this to see if it's similar or different. I don't know if I heard the whole thing, but I'm curious just to hear if there's like a way I can characterize the sound. Yeah, to me, already sounds different. It's definitely not bluegrass because there's drums. So it's like rock drums, but acoustic instruments. To me, that melody sounds more like a progressive rock melody than a folk song. Because when I think folk, I think of, you know, Ash Grove and stuff, like, you know, the stuff that they all play in old Americana. Oh, they have an electric bass too. Just say you will, I cannot say you must. For the angels are left here long ago, and the spirit of dust just says, of Talatland, shield our bodies from the careless wind. To me, it sounds more like British progressive rock than anything. And so I just looked up this Wikipedia about them. And apparently they've been around since 1976. They formed a parallel to Fiddler's Dram under Oysterband. That word, I can't, maybe it's Welsh or Scottish or something. I don't know. I can't pronounce that. Seld band. Oh, they were a dance band. Okay, they're from Kent. Coastal. Oyster Salad. Okay, I can't pronounce that word. And then they've had a different vocal lineup. I guess they went to Canada. They've like had different band people. That's cool. Oh, they've collaborated with Chumbawamba, the band that sang I Get Knocked Down, But I Get Up Again. Oh, yeah, with Thub Something. Okay, which was released as the B-side of I Get Knocked Down. That's so crazy that has any connection with this band. I'm like, mind blown. But this song just sounds more like, because I just listened to a Yes song like 15 minutes ago, and it sounds more like a progressive rock melody than what I consider folk. And also now I'm kind of obsessed with like the British folk being like Renaissance inspired. I'm like, this isn't Renaissance inspired. Go back to the Renaissance, or I don't like it. I like it, but I'm expecting Renaissance. For a first queen kiss, it'll be mid-morning before we're missed, and we'll say goodbye to the lights and cries. Then the laughter's gone from their tired eyes. For the angels are left here long ago, and the spirit of dust just says, it's kind of like pop rock or like Soft rock. I don't know why I'm always like obsessed with putting things in genres, but I just am because I'm like, what is this? It's so interesting. It's interesting that it's considered, I guess it totally is folk rock because it has acoustic guitars, but it does sound more progressive than, I don't know. It's definitely not the Rolling Stones, I'll tell you that. That's what I consider rock rock. Rock rock, right? This is softer, lighter, nice little melodies, but they don't sound like American folk melodies and they're post-Renaissance. They're not in the Renaissance phase anymore. They've moved on. So, well, I think they're pretty freaking cool. I can't believe they did something with Chub something. I mean, Chubbawamba. Now I'm gonna have to listen to the B side of "I Get Knocked Down, but I Get Up Again," the song that was super popular in the 90s. Well, I like that. Thank you so much for sending that request. That was someone who requested that. It was their first time requesting on my channel. So I always like to see that, like more participation. I love my main benefactors too. I don't say main, I guess the word is the ones that have been around for a while and they've been consistently curating my listening for a while. So it's always nice to see a new name pop up because it means you've discovered my channel probably more recently. So thank you. I liked that. I just, I guess I'd have to see what they did in 1976 and I'd want to know if it was very different back then because this clearly was a newer album, I think, because they're saying it was a studio session for Diamonds on the Water album, right? Let me see what that whole thing is. Diamonds on the Water album, 2014. That's what I mean. It was their first collection of new original material, which is interesting. And it said it had a warm, mature sound. So I'd be very curious how they sounded in the 70s and 80s versus today, because I'm coming in with the later perspective, the latter perspective. So anyway, very interesting. Also, thanks for doing that, because I feel like a lot of people who have a relationship with a band, they tend to like the stuff that came out when they first got into the band. Like, oh, I found this band in 1995 and the album that came out in 95 is my favorite. And then anything since then is not as liked. That happens with Fish fans a lot because there was a lot of great stuff in the 90s when people started following the band and then the early 2000s. And then they have had albums released in the 2010s and not everyone has been accepting of the new songs. So it's just how it is with stuff. Yeah, because they had they had an album called Evolve in 2024. I'm talking about Fish now. But Farmhouse came out in 2000, but everything else came out before that. And so a lot of people are really stuck on the stuff from the 90s because those albums were so good that they're like, so it'd be interesting. I would have been surprised if when Fish fans were getting me to listen to Fish, if they had chosen something from the newer album and not one of the older albums. So that's why I find it interesting that you're choosing something from the newer album. And I'm like, interesting. It just makes me think more. And now I'm kind of like, where did they come from? As we say in a stupid song, where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Okay. I liked it. And I'm very curious about where they came from in their earlier years. So, all right. Take care. Bye.